So let's now take a look at how we can do some sampling with Maschino. I've got an empty project loaded up here, completely new empty project, and this sound slot that's loaded automatically. Let's go to sampling, and we can see the first page, record. I can record internally now in Maschino or externally, and the way we've got things set up, I mean, obviously this depends. I'm not using the Maschino sound card for these walkthroughs. I'm actually using the Apogee Duet and the inputs on there. But because I've got in my preferences, go to my Maschino preferences and the audio, I've got the device set up here. So now the Maschino is reading my microphone. But if you had the internal audio interface, Maschino audio interface you would be plugging your microphone into the inputs of the back and selecting your input 1, and you can record in that way. So I can just record straight in now, which is great. So let's look at the different ways in which we can record some stuff in, and then what we can do with the samples once we've recorded them. So externally, so it doesn't really matter mono or stereo because it's a microphone, so it's a mono signal. Internally, we can sample from other sounds in Maschino, but we're going to go external. So we're going to sample a microphone and maybe record a hand clap or something. Input, we have various different inputs. So input 1, I mean it's a stereo, it's coming down input 1 and 2. So input 1 is fine, and then we've got the mode. The sync is quite useful if we're sampling internally, because we can sample exact musical grid divisions. So I mean, we can set it to 3, but we can sample exactly 4 bars of audio, 1 bar or 2 bar. Detect, we then get a threshold, and so this means it will start recording once the threshold is exceeded. So let's have a look at recording using the detect mode. Up here we have start. So once I hit start with this detect mode set up, it will start recording once the threshold is exceeded. So see, as soon as that's exceeded, it starts recording. Hit stop, and let's hit on the pad to play back this sample. See, as soon as that's exceeded, it starts recording. Right, so we've recorded my vocal. So let's delete that, and let's do start again, and let's record just some hand claps, and then maybe a kick drum. So start, stop, and there it is, my hand clap. And then we can keep on recording now. So I record a bass drum. So start again, just by banging on the table. Start again. There's my bass drum, and now let's do a hi-hat. So beatboxed hi-hat. There's our 3 samples, and we can scroll between the different samples that we've recorded. Start again, using the next and previous buttons. Okay, so let's take this sample for an example, and let's go to our edit now, because in its current state, it's not really that good. We've got all that silence at the start. So go into edit, we get our play range, and we can tweak this. We also get our selection range. And these are different because the selection range is just going to make a selection, and we can apply an edit to that section. Whereas the play range is what part of this recording is going to play. So we can actually use the zoom ins here as well. So I'm going to play range. It's exactly at the start of the sample. And now with that set up, I'm going to go and truncate. So we scroll until we find truncate, hit apply, and let's go and normalize it now, just to bring the level up. And the way that play range and the selection range is different, because now if I go play range, obviously if I go to my selection range, I could do something with this selection, not selecting the very start of that sample, just the rest of it, and go to one of these other options, such as reverse, and just reverse that section if I wanted to, shift undo. So we've got our clap, and then we could drag that out onto a separate pad, go to my slice mode, and then slice that sample. Is basically I can apply it to another pad here. Go to apply, select this second sound slot, hit OK, and if I go to pad mode, my hand clap is in there now, and I can go back in here and go back to my edit or record and go and edit one of these other samples. So clap in there. Let's go back to this, go to our part again. Right, bass drum. Won't do it too exact. Right, let's do the same thing again. Truncate. Normalize. Go to slice, apply it to another sound slot, go apply, go to sound 3, hit OK, and quickly go back and do our hi-hat. Is the final one. So go into my edit, take the start and end off, truncate, do a bit more truncating to be fair, normalize, and then go to my slice and slice it out to another pad. Apply, sounds like 3, OK. And we can record our own samples and then take them out and put them in slices very quickly and very efficiently. So let's have a look now at some of the other editing that we can do in here. So I've looked at normalize and truncate. Truncate takes the bits outside of the play range. So it's just a nice way to edit down samples. Normalize just brings the level up. We've got reverse. We've got fade in. And again, remember, this is just the selection range. So I can apply just the fade into that start bit. If I want fade out, same rules apply. So selection range. So we could apply a big fade out to this sample. It's not going to do very much unless we, close in on the sample a bit. So we can apply nice little fade outs, fade ins, and fix DC. I think this helps remove clicks and pops. It's quite a clean sample. There's no clicks and pops, but if you apply the fix DC, if you're getting a few bits of glitches on the audio, the fix DC can take care of that. Silence, so we can just add bits of silence. We're on that one now. So we can just silence little sections. So you can get really quite precise editing going on. Just chop out little bits if you want. And cut. We'll just cut it. So whereas the silence will take that selection and get rid of it, but leave a bit of silence. The cut will get rid of it and squash the rest together. And copy. So we could copy that little section, go back to our selection range over here and paste it if we want, and then create a different selection range and paste it again. Or duplicate. So this little section here with it highlighted, duplicate, like that. So, and then stretch, which is a bit more advanced, and we're going to cover that in the advanced series that we do on the Maschine MK3, because it's a whole other tutorial on its own, in all fairness. So there are the various different editing options we can do, recording and editing. And then in the next video, we'll look at recording internally and using the sync record mode.